Right now, somewhere in your house, a wolf is probably asleep on your couch. You call it a dog, but genetically, it is still a wolf. So why does it lick your face instead of tearing out you? The real answer is far stranger than humans are good at training animals. You didn't tame the wolf. The wolf, in a sense, tamed itself. Here is the strange part. Every animal humans ever domesticated shares a set of traits that have nothing to do with intelligence or strength. Floppy ears, shorter snouts, patchy fur, a tendency to keep playful, juvenile behavior into adulthood. Scientists call this tameness syndrome. It shows up in dogs, pigs, cows, even tamed foxes in a famous Russian experiment. Why would totally unrelated species all change in the exact same way? In the 1950s, a Soviet scientist named Dmitry Belyaev ran an experiment that was supposed to take decades. He bred silver foxes, but he selected only one trait: calmness around humans. Nothing else, not size, not color. Just don't be afraid of us. Within just a few generations, something strange happened. The calm foxes started developing floppy ears, curly tails, spotted fur, traits nobody had selected for. Why? Because tameness isn't just a behavior. It's tied to a biological system. The same hormones that control fear and stress in the brain also shape how cartilage, pigment, and skull bones develop in the womb. Select for calm, and you accidentally select for cute. Evolution wasn't being kind to these foxes. It was running one biological dial that happened to control several traits at once. Now apply that to your dog. Around 15,000 years ago, wolves began hanging near human camps. Not because humans invited them in, but because campfires meant scraps of food. The boldest, calmest wolves got close enough to eat. The nervous, aggressive ones kept their distance and starved. Generation after generation, the camp rewarded calm. Humans didn't design the dog. Proximity did. Here's a question worth sitting with. How many species on Earth could be domesticated if we tried? Biologists once asked exactly that, and the answer is humbling. Out of roughly 148 large mammal species suitable in theory, only about 14 were ever domesticated. Zebras look like horses. They are not horses. Try to herd a zebra, and it will panic, kick, and bite with a grip that can break bone. Same build. Completely different nervous system. This is the twist most people miss. Domestication was never really about taming an animal's body. It was about which animals were born with a temperament that could tolerate captivity at all. Most species simply cannot turn off the part of their brain wired for instant flight or panic. The ones that could were not chosen by us. They were the rare exceptions that volunteered. Cattle followed a similar pattern, but with a twist of their own. Their wild ancestor, the auroch, was a 6-foot-tall animal that could gore a lion. Roughly 10,000 years ago in the Near East, early farmers didn't chase down wild aurochs and force them into pens. They captured calmer individuals, and over centuries, calm bred calm, until the terrifying auroch became something that stands patiently while you milk it. Horses came even later, around 5,500 years ago on the steppes of Central Asia. And this is where domestication stopped being about food and started rewriting human history itself. A tamed horse meant you could move faster than anyone walking, faster than any army on foot. Entire empires, from the Mongols to the Romans, were built on an animal that simply happened to have the right temperament to carry a human on its back without bolting in terror. Cats broke the pattern entirely, and that breaks something open too. Around 10,000 years ago in the Fertile Crescent, humans started storing grain. Grain attracted mice. Mice attracted wildcats. Nobody bred them. Nobody selected them. The boldest cats simply wandered close enough to hunt the rodents, tolerated the humans nearby, and never really changed all that much. Genetically, your house cat is almost identical to a wild African wildcat today. It didn't get domesticated so much as it got comfortable, which might explain a lot about its personality. This is also where researcher Gregor Larsson's work on domestication genetics becomes useful. Larsson has spent years tracing ancient DNA across dogs, pigs, and cattle, and his findings point to the same conclusion again and again. Domestication rarely happened in one single moment, in one single place. It happened slowly, messily, with multiple false starts across different regions until one version of tameness stuck and spread. So why does any of this matter to you? Scrolling on your phone thousands of years later. Because the same biological dial that calmed those foxes, those wolves, those aurochs, is still spinning in every domesticated animal you've ever loved. Your dog's floppy ears aren't an accident. They are fossilized evidence of a hormone system selected for trust instead of fear, written directly into its skull. And maybe that is the real reframe. Humans didn't conquer the animal kingdom through dominance. We formed a quiet, accidental partnership with the rare creatures whose brains already knew how to set down fear. Out of millions of species, only a handful of animals could make peace with us. We just happened to be standing there when they did. So tonight, when your dog curls up against your leg, remember what you're actually looking at. Not a tamed wolf, not a pet, a descendant of the calmest, bravest individuals in its entire bloodline, who chose, generation after generation, to trust a stranger by the fire. You didn't tame the wolf. It decided you were worth the risk. Want more such content? Subscribe to We Explain and comment your favorite part.